Welcome back, bourbon friends. Welcome back to Chasing Neat. This is the dry week edition. So instead of tasting anything, we're going to show you our January and February, so far anyway, February store hauls. So we have two major store hauls that Dawn and I went to. And speaking of Dawn, Dawn's busy doing some other things, so I am working solo tonight, but rest assured I'll do my best to make up for her. Anyway, the first store that we went to was one of our favorites in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and most of you probably already know what it is. It's Texas Mart, and Aman was again a great host, and so we stopped up there on the way to the Kalamazoo Bourbon Fest, and we'll show you that video here shortly as soon as I get done editing. But that was an interesting one. But before we went there, we stopped up at Kalamazoo Liquor Mart, and let me show you what we got. So the first bottle that we got was something that we haven't seen here locally in northern Indiana, and it is Old Pepper Distillery. So we got their straight bourbon whiskey. This one comes in at 101.6 proof, and this is batch number K04, and that's that one. So we're eager to try that one. They had several different flavors, varieties of that, but this is the one that they suggested. This was one of their favorite picks that they have, so we are going to try that one. Now the next one, and this is a single barrel hand selected from Texas Mart, or by Texas Mart. And this is from one of our favorite distilleries, craft distilleries, called Ironfish. It's up in Thompsonville, Michigan. And they're a farm to still distillery. So they actually have, they own the fields that all the crops, except for I think the barley, is grown on. They don't actually farm. They don't actually harvest it. They actually, or farm it. They actually own the land. They pay the local farmer to plant and raise the crops and then harvest the crops. And then once it's harvested, they bring it in. They do all the milling there on site, and then obviously all of the distilling and aging. And now this one is a barrel strength bourbon whiskey finished in Imperial Stout cask. Now we have several of the and here's one of them. So we have several of the Ironfish. Now that bottle is different than this bottle. Now this is their estate spirits. So this is stuff that they actually distilled, aged, and bottled themselves. This bottle is what they purchase and then blend / finish, and then age, and then bottle. So, and I forget who actually makes most of theirs, but we had, this one comes in 112.8 proof, and again, we have several of theirs. We don't have their stout cask, so we were eager to try this one. And again, it's a store pick from Texas Mart, and they do a great job selecting. So we really had no problem with actually trying one of these. So the next one we have, one of our favorites. We have probably 7 different barrels. And this one is Barrell Bourbon, and this is batch number 35, and it is cask strength, and it's a blend of straight whiskey, bourbon whiskeys. This is bottle number 4198. And it's aged 6 years. Oh, did I say what the age on the... Did this one even say what the age was? This Barrell 130 does not say what the age is anywhere. So, and the pepper didn't say what the age was either. So, all right. So, this comes in at 117.5 proof. Dawn had heard a lot about the batch number 35 from other people, and they all said it was really good. Again, this was one that when we saw it, Dawn wanted to get it, and I have no problem letting her get it because it's actually, all of the barrels that we've had have been really good. And this particular one won gold at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition in 2023. All right, next up on the list, and again, Amman treats us well, and this is a hard bottle to find currently, and we didn't specifically ask for it, but he knows us, and when we were about to check out, he said, I have one more you might be interested in. And he pulls this out from underneath the counter, and this is a Traveler whiskey, which is a blended whiskey. This is blend number 40. This is basically kind of a collaboration between Harlan Wheatley, which is the master distiller at Buffalo Trace, and Chris Stapleton, which is a musician. So they kind of got together and selected this blend, and it's actually it's a collaboration from Buffalo Trace Distillery. So it is blended and bottled by Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. So I'm assuming that it's distilled there, but I heard and I thought that it actually wasn't distilled at Buffalo Trace, even though it was blended and bottled. So I thought it was coming from someplace else. Well, if you know, write down in the comments where the Travelers comes from. All right, so that did it for our trip up to Michigan and hunting up there. We next moved on to hunting in Indiana. Now, if you guys haven't gone to the Kalamazoo Bourbon Fest, you should try to go to it next year. The first year we went, they had 2 sessions. This year, they had 3 sessions, which was really nice because it spread the people out. You had room to walk and actually step back from the table, drink, and enjoy and actually talk to people. So, but we ran into a couple people that we knew up there, and they were suggesting some places. So the next place that we went to, at their suggestion, strong suggestion, was a place in Ashley, Indiana, which Ashley is between just north of Fort Wayne, Indiana, right off of 69. So we took 80 over and then 69 straight down and stopped at Ashley. And we went to the Handy Spot in Ashley. The fun thing about that particular location is just off to the side was its giant yellow smiley face. And I believe the marketing person that created this yellow smiley face was from Ashley. So if I'll put that information down in the description, but I think that's true. But anyway, we went in there and met the 2 owners, and they were just as nice as the owners at Texas Mart. So if you go in, definitely say hello to Tipsy and his lovely wife V. They were very, very hospitable to us. They spoke to us for as long as we allowed them to, because as customers kept coming in the door, we kept saying, no, go take care of them, and you know, we'll go back around. So we made the rounds. It's a really nice store. We'll be doing a video on that one shortly too. But first, the first thing we grabbed, and this was something that they suggested, was their favorite Buzzards Roost. And again, we don't see this in northern Indiana much. We hear that a lot of the stores are starting to get a lot of the different varieties of them, but this is the first one that we came across. This one's a Buzzard Roost Straight Rye Whiskey, and it's a cigar rye blend. And this one's bottled 9,168, batch number 3, and it comes in at 105 proof. This one we kept or still had the price tag on it. This one's $75. And we actually tried this last night with our good bourbon friends Dave and Nina, and we really liked it. We all liked it, said it was good. We also compared it to the Joseph Magnus cigar blend and the Old Elk cigar blend. And they were all, you know, thumbs up on all three of them. We were kind of split between which one we liked best, but they were all in. This was in good running with all of those. So if you come across a Buzzard Roost cigar rye, don't be afraid to get it. It does not have a strong rye taste or grass taste. It's the very last finish was somewhat of a rye note, but other than that, it was a little sweet, a little thick, a little like viscous. The oily mouthfeel was good. I mean, it had depth. So we will be doing, Dawn and I will be doing a review of that here shortly as well. So moving on. Now the next bottle, if anyone knows us, follows up, Dawn is and where did they go? I can never find anything in my own library, but Dawn is there it is a big fan of 2XO, and Dixon Deadman is one of her favorites. So they have a new 2XO out. This one is the Gem of Kentucky, and this is number barrel 75. Comes in at 108 proof. Now, much different than all of the other 2XOs, this comes at a much higher price tag of $189.99. So call it even $190. We haven't tried this yet, but look forward to a review of the 2XO Gem of Kentucky. So we've got high hopes for this and hope it lives up to that price tag. Now we are hit and miss on this label. This is a Hard Truth. We've got some that we like of Hard Truth. We have some that we really don't like of Hard Truth. Whether it was a bad batch or bottle, I don't know. But this is one that was recommended by, again, Tipsy at the Ashley Handy Spot, and he said this one was really good. He really liked it. So this is the Sweet Mash Wheated Bourbon, and it's bottled in bond, and mash bill number 2. So, and obviously because it's a bottled in bond, it's 100 proof. This is distilled, or was distilled, in 2019. It was bottled in the spring of 2024, which would be now. So I guess January, February is considered spring. And this was a batch size of 28 barrels. And so we're looking forward to tasting that and seeing what that tastes like. Oh, this one has price tag on it, so this one is $49.99. So again, call it an even $50 for this bottle. Again, we'll be doing a review of this here shortly soon. Now, remember I said we went to the Kalamazoo Bourbon Fest, and one of the many varieties they had there, and on my list, what I wanted to try was one of the RD1s. And so the one I tried there, I really liked, and I said, okay, next time I see it, I'm going to buy it. And sure enough, at the handy spot, they had it. And so this is an RD1 small batch Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in Brazilian Amburana wood casks. And this one comes in at $64.99, so $65. And I really like this one. Had a long finish from what I remember, and it was sweet because, again, my profile is sweet. I like things sweet, but this had a long profile or a long finish, which is another thing in my profile that I like. So this one comes in at 110 proof. So we're looking forward to tasting that with you. Now sitting next to that one, and again, this was one of their suggestions at the handy spot. This was the RD1 small batch Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, double finished in oak and maple barrels. So it's a double oak plus a finish, and the maple finishes are interesting ones to me because I like them sweet, but the maple finishes tend to be overly sweet, and just to the point where I'm thinking they're more of a liqueur than a bourbon or a whiskey. So we're looking forward to trying this one. This one's 99.9 proof. So we are eager to try the RD1 double oak finished in maple. So that one's going to be interesting. And as they were loading that up, we were talking about some of the things that we were looking for on the horizon, and they asked us what we were looking for, and we said, well, there's a lot of things we look for, but we don't actively hunt. We're not. If we come across the Pappy at a reasonable price, oh yeah, we're going to jump on it, but we're not going to go to liquor store after liquor store and say, do you have Pappies? Do you have Blantons? Do you have Eagle Rare? So we're not necessarily going to the stores just for those particular bottles. Again, if we see them, obviously we will entertain the thought of getting that. The Eagle Rare is one of my favorite, way before it became allocated. So, but he said, I've got another one that you might be interested. So again, he reaches underneath the counter and pulls out something that we had kind of mentioned when we first walked in, but didn't say that we were, actively trying to get it. This is an Old Forester 10-year 1924. And at the Bourbon Fest, they had a lot of people were saying this was really good or going to be really good. So I don't know if they had previews of it or if they actually had bottles already open. But we are definitely looking forward to this. Dawn and I like almost. Well, actually, we do. We like everything from Old Forester. There's nothing on their list that we don't like. So we're very eager to try this. They're single barrels that we've gotten in the past. And if I could ever find anything in here that I'm looking for. But the single barrels that we've gotten in the past are really good. So we're looking forward to this 1924 Old Forester. So we've got a lot of videos coming out, need to come out and show you, somewhat on the backlog. So I will try to get to them as fast as I can, get them out. Trying to teach Dawn to do some rough cuts of the videos, which she's actually learning. So she's good at cutting things out and saying, no, we don't like that. And then I just have to finish it and make it polished and look good. But anyway, thank you for listening to my solo presentation of what we did for January and February on our store hauls. And we look forward to presenting our tastings of these in upcoming videos. So like, subscribe, and share, and leave comments about any of these or anything else, and we definitely enjoy. We also love catching up with people who see us out in public and say, hey, aren't you chasing neat? You know, it's fun to interact with people in real life. You know, it's fun it's one thing to read the comments and go back and forth, but it's another thing to have a face-to-face out in the real world and ask them, you know, what do you guys like at, you know, the liquor store that we're usually in. So if you see us, definitely come up and say hello. Anyway, till next time, and if Dawn was here,